Here's a fun one. Dred Zeppelin, A Song of Hope. This is a documentary by Chibson USA, directed by Sharif, Nakhleh, and this is about the 90s, I think of them as 90s band Dred Zeppelin, who I was a huge fan of in high school and into college. Dred Zeppelin was the log line, whatever you want to call it, on Dred Zeppelin was Zeppelin songs in a reggae style sung by an Elvis impersonator. Yes, it was comedy. Yes, it was a joke. But boy, were they good, and just geniuses at how they took these songs that oftentimes had a little bit of an Elvis vibe or had a little bit of a reggae vibe, the Zeppelin songbook, and crafted them into this new stuff. And Greg Tortel, I learned in this documentary, this is a documentary about Dred Zeppelin, had I not mentioned that. The documentary about the rise and fall of Dred Zeppelin, talking to all the band members and people who were involved with the project, including interview clips with Robert Plant from the old days and other people, notables who liked them, and how this weird band from California that grew out of the seeds or the ashes of another band really became quite popular for a period of time, and how they did what they did, why they did what they did, and how it all kind of fell apart over time. I love Dred Zeppelin. I'll keep saying this. I have, up to a point, I have all their albums on CD, which is the only way you could get them. CD, maybe you could get cassettes at the time. I have the original version of Unleaded with Tortelvis with the Elvis hair before they had to like black him out apparently in one pressing, and then in another pressing they gave him these like Rasta dreadlocks, which I used to see that copy. I'm like, this is dumb. He doesn't look like Elvis, but apparently legally there's probably a reason why it looks like this. This gets into all of that. It's very funny. The music is great. If you've never heard of Dred Zeppelin, look them up. They're a lot of fun. They started off as just doing Zeppelin songs, but after a while, you kind of go through the catalog. So they branched out into doing, Elvis songs, to doing songs that were other disco. So they did a disco album. They did other songs from that era. They did an album that was just covers of various tunes. I love what they did with it. The music is incredibly listenable. And as a big Elvis fan myself, that is as a big fan of Elvis and also a fan of Big Elvis. The Elvisisms are really knowledgeable and really deep dish. Tortelvis had a great Elvis speaking voice. A friend of mine used to say, I think he has the best Elvis talking voice I've heard. It's just super fun stuff. And this documentary is really well made. And this isn't just like a quick tossed off thing. This is like a feature-length documentary. How do you see this? This is on YouTube, on the Chibson USA YouTube channel. That's the only place it exists. It might be the only place it will exist. It's very entertaining. It's kind of touching at times. At times, it goes from being an accurate telling of the Dred Zeppelin story to getting a little bit fanciful, I think. I feel like a little bit of this starts to veer into the mythos of the band, the mythos of Tortelvis being a real person, and the various characters. They all adopted names that were like reggae or Rastafications of either members of Led Zeppelin or things like that. And it was just fascinating. For a band that was always a little bit mysterious, that really didn't get a ton of coverage in the mainstream media, as you might call it. They were written up in like Rolling Stone and smaller papers and things like that, and did some TV appearances, but you never really easily got to know the guys behind the characters, the guys behind the band. And in this you do, and it's really fabulous. So I don't have a lot more to say than that. If you've never heard of Dred Zeppelin, watch this. It's really funny. If you love music, watch this. It's incredibly well made. The music is great. The sound is great. The image quality is great. And they dig up a lot of really rare video from the band, video taken of the band by TV and cable and things like that. They appear in National Lampoon's Last Resort. So you get a clip of that too. So there's the cornucopia of footage gathered here is really impressive. As a fan and collector of Dred Zeppelin, I haven't seen all this stuff, so it was really exciting for me. This is the kind of thing I'm probably going to watch a few times. So if you're a fan of music, check it out. If you're a fan of comedic music, check it out. And if you're a fan of Dred Zeppelin, you do not want to miss Dred Zeppelin, A Song of Hope, now streaming on YouTube.